Cool, cool. So we're here with Adam Conover from Adam Ruins Everything right out here. Tell us what's going on, like, as if I was someone that has no clue.
So you've seen those television shows, you've seen them before, right? Did you know that people write those shows? There's a job called a television writer, and the movies that you go see, those have writers too, right? Well, it turns out that the companies like Netflix that you might pay $15 a month to, they've figured out lots of new ways to not pay those writers for all those shows that you love so much, even though those writers are the ones creating the shows in the first place. Isn't that crazy? So all those writers decided, fuck that, we're not gonna do that job for you if you don't bargain with us. And so we're on strike out here to let them know they're not getting any more shows until they deal with us fairly. That's what this is all about.
Hell yeah. I've been hearing talks about AI competing with the real writers of Hollywood. What is the take on that? Is that a threat? Is that something that AMPTP is talking about? Like, hey, you guys don't matter to us anymore.
I'll tell you something. We made a proposal to make sure they can't use it to undermine our work. And they rejected that proposal and they wouldn't even talk about it. They wouldn't even respond to it. So that makes you think they kind of want to do it, doesn't it? If you're saying like, hey, I just want you to, could you agree not to stab me, you know, or shoot me in the face? And the person you're talking to says, nah, I don't think I'm going to agree to that. You'd be like, does that mean you're gonna stab me? And they'd be like, I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. Well, why won't you agree to not do it then, right? That's what we're dealing with these people.
Wow.
It's gonna happen.
The real cutthroat. So if you were to predict something, do you think that they're intimidated right now? What do you think is going through the AMPTP's mindset right now? Or are they just, you know, hardballing it?
Good question. Well, they're hardballing it for sure because they didn't even deal with us. They didn't even negotiate with us the last couple days. I'm on the negotiating committee. I was in the room. They didn't negotiate with us. They didn't make us any offers. You know, they basically forced us to go on strike. So, you know, that's what they decided to do. That's why we're out here. But they're going to learn, the CEOs of the companies are going to learn that they don't have anything without us, you know, that we're going to remind them of our power. They're going to start to see their schedules get slowed down. They're going to start losing millions of dollars when their productions have to slow down. They're going to start feeling the pain. That's going to bring them back to the bargaining table.
Yeah, because everything's already stopped. SNL stopped. All the late night shows stopped.
All those shows stopped, and they have some shows that they, you know, have in the pipeline. They'll have some new premieres for the next month or two, but then after a while, their schedule is going to start to get fucked up, you know?
So let me ask you a question about like non-union writers. Sure. Are they, because I've heard it's even like they could get blackballed by the WGA if they try to go in and like scab it up or something.
Yeah.
What is that like? There's no writing whatsoever going on.
You don't want to scab. You don't want to scab. So scabbing is taking the job of someone who's on strike. And so in this case, that would mean pitching a TV show, writing a TV show, writing a movie, writing for late night, something like that, you know? If Jimmy Fallon calls you and says, hey, you're not a guild member, so can you come in and write jokes for me? Don't do that. Also, he wouldn't do that because he's a nicer guy than that. He's a guild member too, and he knows. If you do that, right, if you were to cross the picket line and scab, then you'll be banned from ever joining the Writers Guild, and that would mean you would not work in the future as a writer. And that's not something we do lightly, you know? That's one of our only ways we discipline people. That's the one rule you cannot break ever. But we almost never have to do it. You know, last time we went on strike in 2007, less than 10 people even tried to scab out of 10,000 writers, you know? So no one does it because everyone knows that's not something you do.
Right. Just honoring their peers kind of situation.
Yeah. I'm just coming out of college for my bachelor's or master's degree. What advice would you have for me right now with the strike going on?
Okay, what I tell you is the last strike in 2007, I was like 23, 24 at the time, okay? And I was an aspiring comedian. I was doing open mics and stuff, you know? I watched all those writers walk the picket line, and I knew that they were doing it for the future of writing. And what they won back then was coverage of the internet, right? That because of that strike, we have union coverage over the internet. And I now make television on streaming. And I get paid a union rate because those writers back then walked the picket line for me, and now it's my turn. It's been almost 15 years. Now it's my turn to do the same thing for the writers of the future, you know, because that's what it means to be in a union and be in solidarity with other people. So I would urge you, if you're in that position, support the union, because if you achieve your dream and you become a television writer, you're going to benefit from what we're fighting for right now. Look, this is one of the most creative groups of people on the planet. You know, these are the people who write TV and movies. So they're going to have some ideas because they're not writing TV right now. And they have friends with cameras just like you guys, you know what I mean? So I think we're going to see some really awesome web series happen, you know what I mean? We're going to have some awesome new podcasts because people are going to make some new stuff just for themselves.
So it's okay to keep pursuing their own like passion project.
Yeah. You just can't work. You can do your own passion project, whatever. You just can't do work for a company that we're striking against. So you can't work for Netflix, for Disney, for Hulu, for NBC, for CBS, any of those companies. If they try to give you money to write something for them, you say no thanks, you know? And if you work for one of those companies, a real piece of solidarity, like say you're a PA or you're a truck driver or you're a camera operator or something like that, and you show up to this building or you show up to a different set and you see writers are on strike in front of it, you say, you know what, I'm not working today because I don't cross the picket line, because that's what we do in the labor movement, you know? We don't cross each other's picket lines because our whole goal here is to inflict a little economic pain on this company. And so anybody who wants to inflict a little economic pain on them too, that they're more than welcome to, and we appreciate that act of solidarity.
Damn. So up in the office right there, it's pretty slim pickings up there. It might look like 2020 maybe in those offices. Is that just saying?
I'm looking up there. I don't see a ton of people at their desk. Oh, that lady looked at me. They're hearing the honking. You know what I mean? I hope Ted Sarandos is up there. He's hearing the honking. You know, there's trucks are having a little bit of trouble coming in and out of here today. You know, maybe they're running out of M&Ms up there. We don't know.
That's amazing, dude. Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you for saying hi. Yeah.
I read that the AMPTP said that in their minds, they negotiated a fair deal. And then to hear that it's only 2%, like what is the miscommunication there?
Well, if you want to see what the deal actually is, the Writers Guild of America has released the actual status of the negotiations, and on so many of the actual policies, not only did they not agree with us, they didn't even offer counter offers. So the AMPTP is saying they gave us a fair deal. They haven't even offered us a deal. They have offered us a couple more pennies on the dollar, but they have not responded to the critical existential concerns that we have as writers. You can look it up. It's online. We put that stuff out for transparency because these corporations, the same corporations, they own the media, you know? 6 corporations own 90% of the media, so you're going to hear a lot of propaganda coming from them that say, oh, we're spoiled brats. No, we're struggling. It's those CEOs who are making hundreds of millions of dollars. We're asking for 2% of the profit that they get, just one guy living up in the hills. We're asking that so we can build our families and we can build a middle-class lives for ourselves. If they can't get it, we're not going to continue making them profit. I think AI is a really dangerous technology if not regulated. I'm not worried about AI taking my job, all right? I'm a writer. I know that television shows cannot be made by numbers and algorithms. They try and they make really crappy shows that way. Netflix is putting out more and more crappy shows that way. We put our heart and we put our soul into the art that we make, not the content we produce, into the art we make. And AI can't replace that. These characters and these stories, they come from our lives, our stories, our personalities. And AI can't do that. All AI can do is take our copyrighted scripts and remix it and chop and screw it. But they cannot produce something actually creative. And I'm not worried about my job. These CEOs should be worried about AI replacing their job, because these CEOs, all they can think about is in numbers. Now a computer can do that for you, so why are we paying them $200 million? Let's get AI replacing them, I think.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. Likewise. That's stellar, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Obviously that there are some people at the top who make a lot of money, but for the average writer, because of the structure that the networks have put in place, we are not working year round. And so the money that we're making weekly for the 6 to 20 weeks is not sustainable for an entire year or 2 years, depending on when is our next job. It's hard to make a livable wage with the current conditions of being a writer. The average writer is not making nearly as much as people have been printing, against us, as if we are all rich. We're not. We just want to be properly compensated, especially when we're in an industry where the AMPTP are making millions and millions of dollars. It's really unfortunate how undervalued it seems like we are. We're not rich people. We just want this to be a career because we love what we do, and we hope to be compensated as such and respected. It's really about respect. That's what this has come down to.
Yeah, solid. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.